And that is destroyed! Tie game! 60. That's in play down the third baseline. Peter makes the great play from Peter McNeil.
Justice already took advantage of that. What a play over at third.
He's heading home. Oh, he's out. He's going to be out. Jordan Rice takes out Trey Cluxton right. Ground ball right back to Jackie. Bobbles the ball. Flips it over to first and still gets Alex Harden.
Crot, get out, ball later! 2.
And he might have just missed it. Caught and run from Jordan Rice. And that's a shot. Zach Hall, what a play!
Oh, a moonshot. Oh, he robbed it! What a catch! What a catch!
Barrett's coming home. And he hits it. What a play! What a play! The double play from Jerry Langston. And that ball is out of here. Walk-off home run, Jake Oliver. He's advancing it all. I don't know if I like it. Oh, down! He got him. Oh my God! He brought the play before he was there.
Catch! Aubrey flips the first. Flare it up. What a play for Peter McNeil! In play, that's a fair ball to Jake. What a play from Jake Oliver! And that is destroyed! Tie game! 60. That's in play down the third baseline. Peter makes the great play from Peter McNeil.
Justice already took advantage of that. What a play over at third.
He's heading home. Oh, he's out. He's going to be out. Jordan Rice takes out Trey Cluxton right. Ground ball right back to Jackie. Bobbles the ball. Flips it over to first and still gets Alex Harden.
Crot, get out, ball later! 2.
And he might have just missed it. Caught and run from Jordan Rice. And that's a shot. Zach Hall, what a play! Yeah, he's amazing and all. I don't know if I like it.
In play, that's a fair ball to Jacob. What a play from Jake Oliver! And that is destroyed! Tie game! 60. That's in play down the third baseline. Peter makes the great play from Peter McNeil.
Justice already took advantage of that. What a play over at third.
He's heading home. Oh, he's out. He's gonna be out. Jordan Rice heads out. Trey Clifton right. Push it over to first and still give Alex Hart.
Cross, get out, ball later!
And he might have just missed it. Got it wrong from Jordan Rice. And that's a shot. That's a what a play.
That's in play, that's a fair ball to Jacob. What a play from Jacob! And that is destroyed! Tie game! That's in play down the third baseline. Peter makes the great play from Peter McNeil.
To that. What a play over at third.
That's in play, and he might have just missed it. Caught it wrong from Jordan Rice.
Cross, get out, ball later!
And that ball is out of here. Walk off home run. Oh, top for the out. It's Barrett's coming home. And he gets out. And that's a shot. Zach Conway. He's running third. He's heading home. Oh, he's out. He's gonna be out. Flips it over to first. I don't know if I like it.
Flips the first. Oh, and moonshot. Oh, he robbed it! Flare it up. What a play for Peter McNeil!
Ladies and gentlemen, to AWA regular season. Today we got a good one. We have the 3-3 Southern Stingers versus the 5-1 Pacific Pilots. Big story today, the Pacific Pilots ace DJ Oliver will not be here, and that has single-handedly been the reason why this team is 5-1. So we start to look at the lineups. I'm Jack Blaus, joined by Chase Winkler as always. And we will look at the Stingers lineup first. Jordan Rice will be leading it off at shortstop. Barrett Carlo will be a late scratch. He will not be here. Drew Tenzar at second base. Cole Blevins at first base. And team captain Peter McNeil on the mound. Peter McNeil finished second in Cy Young voting last year. And he'll get to start in games 1 and 3. Looking at the Pilots lineup, Brad McGinnis will take the mound as the team ace is out in DJ Oliver. Mark Campanero will be at third base. Keaton McKay at second base, who had the unbelievable catch last week. And Josh Campanero, who has been the surprise of the AWA this season, leading the Pacific Pilots in home runs and RBIs, will be here as well. And now we're going to send it down to Jackson Carr with team captain of the Pacific Pilots, Mark Campanero.
I'm here with Mark Campanero, captain of the Pacific Pilots. Mark, you're hitting 225 so far this season. Not like we've seen from before. What are you going to do to get that up?
Well, I'm just going to go up there and, change my approach a little bit. Last series against the Mojo, Don pitched really well, and same with Trey Clugston. They were tough to hit, and they shut me down, so I'm going to have to come out here tonight and bring this stand.
You're going to be facing Peter McNeil and Jordan Rice in the box today. What notes do you have on them, like concerning the wiffle or the knuckleball?
Yeah, I mean, I've faced Peter McNeil my whole life since we were kids, so I know I'm pretty familiar with what he has as far as Jordan Rice goes. Jordan's got a nasty knuckleball. He's a tough pitcher to hit. I've seen him multiple times in the past, so just gonna look at the notes that I have previously and go after it tonight.
Gotcha. One last question. You're missing DJ Oliver, one of your star players tonight. How are you going to fill in that gap?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's tough not having DJ. He's definitely a star player and our best pitcher on the team. But I got a lot of confidence in our guys. I got a lot of confidence in Brad McGinnis, and I got a lot of confidence in Keaton and my brother. And I'm excited for this series. And we're just going to go out there and we're going to play as hard as we possibly can and try to take this series.
Great. I bet it'll be a good one. And good luck out there.
Thank you, Jackson Carr, with that interview right there, filling in for our typical sideline reports. Chase, what are the keys to today's game?
The keys for today's game is obviously the Pilots not having DJ here today. That means Mark is probably going to have to pitch one game. Brad's going to need to be on point, which he has been so far this season. Defense is going to be a little scarce at first without Josh showing up late. So the Stingers are going to have to get on early and often when they are down a man. So
yeah, and speaking of the Pilots being down a man, you can tell they're definitely dragging to get their team out on the field, holding on until Josh Campanero gets here.
Yeah, delaying this as long as possible, waiting for their fourth team member to get out there. And without your ace, I mean, you want to make sure you have all your defensive men out there.
Well, and typically, having 3 people in the field is a huge disadvantage. But as we saw on Monday, playing with 3 people, you got some of your better batters hitting more often, and honestly, if you have a pitcher that's popping up fly balls for the out or striking people out, the fourth person's, you don't need one.
Yeah, exactly. And if the Pilots had DJ here, I'm sure they'd love to play with just 3 men in the outfield. Like you said, more at bats for them, and get a good pitcher like DJ up there, and he'll get you those pop flies and get you back in the dugout soon.
And as we're waiting here, we're gonna have the Pilots take the field.
Dragging their feet, like you said, Jack. They're not too anxious to get out there.
Brad McGinnis will be on the mound to start, and he has been a very solid second game pitcher. He's had his ups and downs, but he stays towards the top of the zone, one of those typical pop fly pitchers, which you don't hear that often.
Yeah.
But definitely effective in wiffle ball.
And like you said, he's the typical number 2 guy you want. He's got a 4.0 ERA, which is well below league average, but today's going to have a lot more pressure on him being the ace today, and he'll have to drop that ERA a little bit going against Peter on the other mound.
And as we get ready, Jordan Rice will step in here for first pitch, and the Pilots will start down a man. And here we go. First pitch underway, Southern Stingers, Pacific Pilots. Just low.
And like we were saying before the game, not too bad having Keaton out there. Easily Gold Glove Award lead right now this season, making that home run robbery last series.
Yeah, and you know, looking at the catch he made last week, it's almost like he could make an error on every single play for the rest of the year, and he'd still probably win the Gold Glove.
Yeah, exactly. He likes to deke those guys, like we were saying out there, make them think like, oh, I don't have the ball.
And that ball is going back, and just as we call his name, an easy pop out for out number 1, Brad McGinnis and the Pacific Pilots. It's funny, when you just start talking about someone, the ball seems to find him, and Drew Tenzar will now step in. He was 3rd in Rookie of the Year voting last year. Struggled a little bit to start the year, but just like everyone else, you know, first game back, new year, it's always a little bit difficult to pick up those pitches.
Yeah, he missed the first series, and he was back. Last series had a pretty decent game, had some walks. Didn't strike out at all, so that was good, and be looking to get it going today in his second series of the year.
2-0 count. Back foot slider, that's what they tell you. 3-0 count to Drew Tenzar here. And that's a hard hit ball in the gap, and that'll hold him to a single. Drew's only hitting 200 on the year before that at bat, and you know, even if there was a guy there, that's not a gimme play.
No, that's a nice line drive right there. I think it's hit probably mid to high 80 miles per hour off the bat. I mean, you're going to have a guy right there to make that play and be able to hold on to it. So nice hit right there by Drew.
Now steps Cole Blevins in the 3 spot. He looks at one go inside. Brad McGinnis, one of the slower workers. You know, we don't have a pitch clock in the AWA, but you know, maybe he would get a couple violations with his speed.
Yeah, he sits there and stares at you for a little bit. You're wondering if he's going to go or not, and all of a sudden he lifts that leg and it's right on you. So
Cole Blevins, a Gold Glove first baseman for the Southern Stingers, heart and soul of the Stingers. Swings over the top of that one, and he's one of the original members of the AWA.
Not too many players can say that here. We've had a good rotation here the past couple of years.
Bounces there. 3-1 count now to Flower Pot Cole.
He was piecing the ball out well in 3 games, so expecting some big things from him today.
And that, just missed it there. Might want that one back, but now the count is full. Money pitch right here as Peter McNeil waits on deck. Got him, strike 3, and that's a huge strikeout for Brad McGinnis for the 2nd out of the inning. And Peter McNeil, team captain, will step in with 1 man on.
Yeah, nice job by Brad there to work. Didn't throw him a strike, but induced the swing on that and got the strikeout. 2 outs now for him here.
And that ball is tatted up to Mark Campanero. And a little bit of panic there for the Pilots, but Mark will come all the way over from first base and make the catch, and that'll be a 3-out, no-score inning for the Pacific Pilots. Lead it off heading into the bottom of the 1st inning. And Keaton McKay will step in. Keaton, obviously the Gold Glove player, but on base is just one of his most underrated assets as this, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 12 walks so far this year. I mean, that's a ton for 2 series so far already. So that's 6 a game, 6 a series. So
very patient. As you can hear, Josh Campanero just arrived talking to his brother right here. As Keaton looks at a 3-0. Does well to fight that one back, and Peter McNeil, one of those pitchers that, you know, doesn't really come in, throw too many warm-up pitches. So usually the first inning is a little wild.
Yeah.
And up steps Mark Campanero. We've seen this matchup quite a bit here in the AWA, team captain versus team captain.
Yeah, this is going to be a real fun matchup right here.
Looks at strike one right there.
Mark was saying before the game that he changed his approach a little bit. We'll see if that.
Quick 0-2. Gotta wonder where Peter's gonna put this third pitch. Not the best placement, but you know, you don't want to hang one.
It's a good waste pitch though.
Yeah. Does well to fight that off, remains 1-2. Peter goes to reload on some balls here.
You have to wonder if Mark would like that one back. It looked like that was right in his zone. He just missed it.
And here comes Josh Campanero behind us. So the Pilots now will have 4 fielders. Not that it mattered. Honestly, they look pretty good with 3.
Yeah, you saw Mark coming over there in the top of the first, all the way from first base, making the catch on the left side of the infield.
Here comes Mark stepping in. 1-2 count. Does well to not chase that. 2-2. Nicks the top of the zone, strike 3, and you can't put it any better than Peter McNeil right there. That pitch was never a strike.
No, that thing just barely nicked the zone by like an inch, maybe. I mean, it's just never fun when the ball like hits the zone and still goes to the back of the backstop, and there's nothing you can do about that.
And here comes Josh Campanero.
Straight out of the car.
Straight out of his car, lost his hat. But he is the offensive leader for the Pacific Pilots, and you look at this stacked roster. No offense to Josh, but he's not the leader you would have expected offensively.
Yeah, when he first came into the league as a rookie, you know, we didn't know what to expect from him, and he's kind of grown into a great hitter and just a great all-around player for this Pilots team.
He is definitely a free swinger, as we see right there, 0-2. And that ball is tatted to the back of the wall, and Josh continues as that almost hits Keaton. It was a nice play there from Jordan Rice, trying to get Keaton there, does not, and that'll be a stand-up double for Josh Campanero, who continues to mash pitchers.
I thought that ball had a chance to get out for a second, but just fell to the base of the fence at the last second, and now they've got runners on second and third, 1 out.
Bradford McGinnis looks at strike 1. 1-1 count.
Brad's got 1 home run on the year.
And that ball is oh, and Cole Blevins can't make the catch. And he gets Josh at third. That's a great play from Drew. The run will score.
Heads up play from Drew right there.
Somehow.
Okay, he's still waking up.
Great play from Drew Tenzar to avoid an otherwise disastrous situation there.
My brain's hurting right now,
The Pacific Pilots are up 1-0. Peter McNeil starting to find his stuff here. 0-2 count. Gets Keaton McKay, 1-2-3 right there. And we're headed to the top of the second, 1-0 Pacific Pilots. Getting ready to start the top of the second inning. Jordan Rice steps in.
Full strength.
Fouls that off.
It was way off the zone, but it just hung in that strike zone for a good 2-3 feet until it got to the plate.
One and one count to the presumptive Game 2 starter for the Stingers, Jordan Rice. As he fouls that back. 1 and 2.
Jordan's in 371 this year so far. Or, excuse me, 333.
And that ball is going deep. Oh my goodness.
Just
Why? What? I don't even know what to say anymore. Every time the ball is hit to the vacuum, he makes a play.
I mean, that looked like a wide receiver catching a ball over his shoulder in the end zone. You know what I mean?
my
That was
goodness.
just insane.
Jordan Rice doesn't know what to do over there. Thinks he just got a stand-up triple.
Yeah, I don't know why I expect anything different from that play when I see Keaton going back like that.
As Drew Tenzar will now step in. 1 ball, no strikes.
You see Keaton playing right where Drew smashed it last time.
Fouls that off. And on that play, you look at Jordan Rice and Keaton McKay, probably the 2 best basketball players in the league.
Yeah. Jordan Rice makes his fair share of plays also.
Looking at Brad McGinnis's pitch repertoire, he usually just sticks to that slider, but his placement with it is very consistent, top of the zone, as we see right there.
And sometimes it's moving a lot, sometimes it's not, so it's almost like a little bit of a cutter to slider kind of movement.
And that'll be full count now to Drew Tenzar, who singled in his first at-bat. Fights it off there. And we're looking at the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Great battle right here.
Yeah, it would have been ball 4, but Drew not taking any chances and fighting his way to another pitch.
Fights it off again, and we're going to look at the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Bit of a marathon right here. Something's got to give.
Yeah, this has been very impressive from both of them so far.
Got him, strike 3 on the 8th pitch of the at-bat, and that's a big out. And up steps Cole Blevins. I told Cole I needed 2 home runs out of him today. I have him on my fantasy lineup.
Buy low, produce high kind of guy today.
And if you don't know about fantasy wiffle ball, hit the link in bio to add your players and pick up Cole Flowerpot Blevins. He looks at ball 1.
You have to think that the Pilots are probably the most expensive team overall per player wise so far to start the season.
Has to be.
I mean, I'm thinking all these guys easily over 20 bucks each of them. So they all bring such different values to the game that can contribute in different ways.
And Cole swings right there, 2-1 count. And that's, you know, and that's why you look at the price of the players compared to their record, the 5-1 record, it shows.
Yeah.
Every player has their, you know, certain abilities, and there's no weak part of the team at all.
Yeah.
3-1 count. And then sometimes you have teams with intangibles, like the Stingers. Last year they were the 2nd worst regular season team, and they won it all.
Yeah, so I mean, you just never know. Team's going to get hot here, and then you also got to play the matchups. I mean, what is this, Mark and Peters 20th, 30th time facing off against each other
At
at
least.
least. So that plays a factor as well.
Just misses, and Cole Blevins walks. That's a point for my fantasy team. Thank you, Cole. There'll be 1 on here, 2 outs, and up steps Peter McNeil trying to help himself out on the mound here. Just outside there, ball 1. Peter McNeil had a bit of a ankle injury in his first game back last 2 weeks ago. But he is healthy, he said, so he's 1-1 is the count.
Yeah, last series we saw Jordan pitch two of the 3 games, and we saw him starting today. We got Peter starting, so he must be feeling a little better.
And regardless of an injury, your first game back, it's always a little bit tough.
Yeah. Thankfully, I've yet to be injured in this league, but
Yeah, knock on wood.
yeah.
Does not go. 2-1 count to Peter McNeil. Does not go again. 3-1. And Peter really feeling where that zone is right now.
Yeah, seeing that slider really well, just laying off it. A lot of people get to swing at that just right off the zone in the left-handed box. So nice discipline there from Peter.
And he'll look at ball 4. Peter McNeil is aboard. Runners at first and second now. And the Stingers' MO has just been ability to pitch. Jordan Rice, Peter McNeil have been great pitching. Where they've had issues in the past has been their hitting.
Yeah, getting those runs scored, as you saw, I mean, they should have basically got robbed earlier in the inning from Jordan. But yeah, the ability to score runs when their pitching is dominant has been the struggles for them.
And that ball is popped up, and to who else but Keaton McKay will catch a pop out again from Jordan Rice, and we're headed to the bottom of the second. 1-0 remains the score. Mark Campanero will lead it off. And Mark Campanero has been an elite offensive hitting threat in the AWA every single year. Even before the AWA was found, he was the hardest out. And he finds himself in a peculiar situation. He hasn't necessarily had an average below 400 for a very long time.
And
Just a strike there.
I mean, seeing he's not getting anything easy. I mean, you see when he's stepping in the box, the pitchers are really bearing down and making sure they're giving him their best stuff.
Yeah, and that's also, you know, when they know Mark Campanero is arguably the best hitter in the league, they're going to pitch way more carefully, not as many strikes.
Yeah, almost Barry Bonds-esque treatment, just rather have him on first base than take you deep.
True.
Change this game.
So that hits him there, 3-1 count to Mark Campanero. And Mark will most likely be the Game 2 starter without DJ here. And that ball is hit, a rocket, and that will be a hard hit single for Mark. And that's one of those hard hit balls that if the holes line up right, that's 400 feet. And right there you saw it just hit as a slider and just unfortunately didn't go out.
Yeah, we saw as that ball started going past the pitcher's mound out to the outfield, the spin of it started going forward and kind of dropped that ball down into the backspin you need on that to get that thing over the fence.
A good rule of thumb is whatever the pitch that comes out of the pitcher's hand, the bat, when you hit it, it'll do the opposite.
Yeah,
so if
exactly.
you throw a riser, you're going to hit a sinker, and vice versa as you look at ball 1 to Josh Campanero. Swinging there, Josh Campanero came in straight out of the car, hit a stand-up double in his first at-bat.
No warm-up or anything, just straight up, I'm ready to hit, double.
Just a little late on that one, 2-2 count. Does well to not chase the screwball there. Full count now to Josh Campanero, the number 2 overall pick 2 years ago, and he swung at the high cheese there for the first out of the inning.
Like you're saying earlier, that free swinging from Josh there, both the Campanero brothers kind of have that mentality and had ball 4 right there, but just thought that he could drive that ball and ended up striking out.
Dingers or nothing.
Yep, exactly.
Bradford McGinnis will step in after 2 excellent innings of pitching.
He's held the Stingers to just 1 hit through 2 innings, looking to add some insurance as they're only up 1.
Lays off with that one. Ball 1. That nick it?
Yeah, that just caught the zone right there.
Barely touched the bottom, 1-1. And that's flared out unplayable. That'll be 2 strikes.
Brad reached on error his last at bat, but ultimately got the lone RBI for his team, so that's why they're up 1-0. Putting the ball in play can do wonders for you.
Hits him there. 2-2 count.
Let's go, Bradley.
Got him, strike 3, and that is a big strikeout right there for Peter McNeil.
After giving up that hard hit to right field, he struck out the next 2 batters and really putting himself in a good situation to get to the top of the 3rd and tie this game up.
Here's Keaton McKay, the vacuum.
It's a great nickname for him, the vacuum.
He looks at ball 1. Every week he makes a highlight play.
Yeah, I just need to expect it from now on when he's on the field.
Nasty pitch right there from Peter McNeil, 1-1 count. Little late right there, but Peter McNeil is dotting it up. I don't see him hitting the middle much. It's just all PVC pipe.
Yeah, and he's starting to get it by him the last 2 batters, and you saw right there from Keaton, they're just not able to catch up to it and just a little late and just swinging and missing at that. So maybe you need to get their foot down or time it down a little earlier and put that thing in play.
Full count now to Keaton McKay. Strike 3 from Peter McNeil, and we're headed to the 3rd inning. Stingers need 1 to tie, 2 to get the lead. If you're a fan of fantasy, click the link in our bio and head on over to Fantasy Wiffle Ball. Oh. Link in bio for Fantasy Wiffle Ball as we're getting ready to start the 3rd inning. No. Strike 1 right there. 0-1 count. The Drew Tenzar, the rookie from last year. So he fights that one off. 0-2, and if the Stingers want to do what they did last year, which was win a title, Drew Tenzar's got to come through as the huge offensive threat he was last year.
Yeah, he's been swinging a lot today and had that one shot to right center and then struck out and fouling off a bunch of pitches in his 2nd at bat, so still figuring out here early in the season.
And that's a hard hit ball to Josh Campanero, who makes the play, and that will be a ground out for Brad McGinnis, and Brad is just on a roll right now.
Yeah, just giving up 1 solo hit and just been working at that kind of slow pace, but it's been working for him, and not a lot of hard hits from the Stingers today, and rolling through this lineup.
When you have a great defense behind you, it makes it so much easier as Cole steps in. It's a strike right there. No pitch. The speed check there.
Was it? Yeah. You don't trust me, huh?
One goes a little bit wide. 1-0.
Stingers need to get someone on anyway, anyhow. Starts right here with Cole.
And that's a hard hit ball. It's a tough play for Mark to make. He throws across the diamond, and he's safe. And Cole thought about it. And that will be a single for Cole Blevins.
Love the hustle.
That's what I was saying there. You just need to get someone on if you're the Stingers, and that's what you did right there. Did your job if you're Cole, and now you got the tie and run on first base.
It's a tough play to make regardless of who's running.
Yeah, Cole was hustling down the line there, made a tough play on Mark and had to get that out of his hands, and Josh was unable to scoop it up there at first.
Fouls that one back, 1-1. Peter McNeil. There's a lot of space empty in the middle of the field, but with Keaton just waiting right over there, you never know.
He just jumps out of nowhere, and I mean, next thing you know, that guy will be over playing first base, and he's over in left field right now.
2-1 count. And that ball is popped straight out. He just missed it. And that'll be 2 outs in the inning. And the Stingers are down to their final out of game 1. And Jordan Rice, who's been robbed twice.
Yeah, it sounded like a good hit right there from Peter, but just a little under it, popped straight up, and now you've got Jordan, who's gotten robbed one time and a nice line drive to the other, so he's looking to drive it again.
And that ball is going back. And Keaton McKay, who else, robs Jordan Rice 3 times. And that will do it for game 1. The Pilots take it 1-0 in a nail-biting pitcher's duel.
I'm just pitching.
As we're getting ready to start game number 2, we're just putting in the lineups. Brad McGinnis pitched a scoreless game, sorry.
We're good to go.
And we're ready to start game 2 here, facing Brad again.
Pilots electing to not go with Mark game 2, hopefully win the series with Brad here after he was rolling game 1 and gets ahead early with a strike right there, so good start for Brad in game 2.
Does not go, and Jordan Rice must be a little annoyed right now. He's had 3 hits in play that most likely would have been a hit if anyone other than Keaton McKay was standing right there.
Yeah, he's been robbed 2 or 3 times already today, and it's not making it easy out there having Keaton just roaming around, and maybe they'll try to put the ball on the ground here once and not give Keaton an easy ball to go grab.
And that is a speed check right there. Came in a little fast. 1 mile per hour over 1 and 2.
Brad's starting to ramp up his velo a little bit as he's getting into the games farther.
Hits him there. He's really working inside on Jordan Rice, and the count is now 2-2.
Yeah, and like you said, he's really pounding these righties inside, and when Drew's up, you're really seeing he's going in on the lefty and just making these guys pull it.
Got him. Strike 3. And that'll be the first out of the game. Drew Tenzar steps in.
Had a nice hit off Brad last game. But I've been noticing that Keaton's playing that exact spot that he hit it last time. Trying to make another robbery on the Stingers today.
Ball 1, and we've noticed, like in typical years, home runs are down in the beginning of the season, as that ball is popped straight back out of play. And normally we'd be blaming on the weather. Last year was a historically bad start as far as weather here in the Pacific Northwest, and this year seems like a historically good one. It feels like we're in July in the middle of May.
Yeah, it's just, I think the pitching's just been really good this year. It's really stepped up. They're not giving a lot of free passes to hitters, not leaving a lot of meatballs up, really making you earn your at-bat, earn your hits, and I think that's what we're seeing so far this year.
1-2 count. Just inside. And Brad's one of those pitchers that's so good at just keeping that velo right around the top of the limit. Part of the reason why most of his pitches don't break as much as some other. which reads the gun a little bit hotter as we look at full count.
Yeah, and some of those pitches, the way you throw them, the movement on them, that can always affect the radar a little bit. So it's interesting to see how that affects the game.
And that ball is fouled back, and Drew wants that one back. A little bit of a hanger right there. Count remained full.
He's been fighting all day. That's about his 12th foul ball, I'd say.
He had a 9-pitch at bat in game 1. Just misses inside, and Drew Tenzar is aboard with the walk. And up steps Flower Pot Cole, number 13 for the Southern Stingers.
Had a couple of walks last game. It was the tying run in the top of the third. Ultimately couldn't get in.
He looks at ball 1. Cole Blevins, bit of a bucket step right there, pulls him away. 1-1 count.
That was a nice slider, just right down the middle, center part of the zone. Just nice pitch.
Cole fights off that one, 1-2. Cole did have that single down the line to Mark Campanero in game 1. Got him, strike 3, and Cole Blevins strikes out for the second out of the inning. And Peter McNeil steps in here. 2 outs, runner on first. Yeah, give it to Peter. Throw it at him. Throw it at him. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. And Peter McNeil takes the mic. You can throw wherever you want. Well, not anywhere.
Not anywhere?
Not anywhere. And Peter McNeil will mic himself up. So stay tuned for some mic ups on the TikTok. Geez, a lot of sneezing going on. We're gonna strike 1. It's like it's like a
It's bad right now.
Contagious.
0-1. Take your allergy pills. So that hits him right there. We'll see if the team has to hold Peter back from charging the mound.
Gone hit quite a bit today.
Peter would normally attack Brad with the bat, but he restrains himself. And that's in play to Josh, who will step on first, and Drew will go no further as we head to the bottom of the first. Okay. And here we go, getting ready to start the top of the second.
Jordan Rice stepping up, lead off the second inning here for the Stingers.
Ball 1.
And the story so far today is the Stingers' lack of offense through the first 4. This is now their 5th inning of up hitting, so we'll see if they can get their first run of the day across the board here.
2-0 count now. Moves the bat. Be 3-0 count.
Jordan will look to get it going here for the Stingers. Get that first man on, hopefully, and
Hits him there, and that'll be a 4-pitch walk to Jordan Rice.
it's kind of what you need to do. Bats aren't really too hot right now. Just start getting the next man up. Get a good swing on in. Hopefully, you get a good pitch driven over the wall.
Drew Tenzar swings right over the top of that one. 0-1, and for some reason the Stingers have just had issues with trying to hit Brad today.
And he's just been very effective against them. Just looks like he's been working them all inside, no matter if they're lefty or righty, and just pain in the inside zone, make them turn on that barrel, and that's been working too well for them.
1-1 count, and you know, DJ Oliver, their star pitcher. You know, who needs DJ when you got Brad McGinnis pitching a shutout in game 1?
Yeah, honestly, until you said that, I kind of forgot that he's on the team. I mean, Brad's just been dominating so far. So this is definitely that outing you wanted for the first game and so far through the second game from Brad.
Swinging right there, 2-2 count now. And with that, the Pacific Pilots, you know, if we're looking at the 8 teams in the AWA, the Pacific Pilots, who were tied top record in the league before week 3, the aces fell off, but that's, you know, Moses Valdez hurt himself, their star player, so that kind of hindered their performances. But when you look at the top players, it'd be the Pacific Pilots and then I guess the Central Cyclones.
Yeah, definitely so far. I mean, the Pilots, they've got everything. I mean, we've got Keaton making every play in the field on defense. I mean, you don't have, I mean, he can come over and pick up someone else's slack in the field. You got DJ and Brad. You got Mark and Josh hitting. I mean, this is just a well-rounded team that excels at all 3 facets of the game.
Full count. Froze him right there, strike 3, and that'll be the first out of the inning. And one thing about Drew, though, he has worked the count full in every at-bat so far.
Seen a lot of pitches, making Brad work on his arm, get that stamina low, and helping out his teammates by hopefully getting them some groove pitches here soon.
Cole does well to fight that one off just a little late, and that'll be strike 1.
A lot of money. When I was a kid. Thousands.
And that is in play to Josh. He'll make the catch. And, you know, every time the ball's hit over to the first baseman, you think you might see some trickery of, you know, Josh dropping it, trying to get 2 outs there, but we didn't see that there.
Yeah, you know, that's almost too tricky. But I feel like someone would more likely go wrong than right in that situation. So take your easy out. You're up 4 runs.
That's a nasty pitch right there.
And, you know, like I've been saying, he's just pounding them inside, and when the Stingers aren't making contact, it's on the wrist, it's not on the barrel, and getting jammed, and you're seeing those little flyouts to first base.
Peter McNeil swinging there, 0-2. You see how far over Keaton McKay's playing. It's the second base position.
A true rover.
And that ball is going back, and it's gone. Peter McNeil, 2-run shot. The first 2 runs of the day, and unfortunately, Keaton McKay couldn't rob that one.
Yeah, just out of Keaton's reach right there. That was a well-struck ball over the deep, tall left field ball over there. Great hit by Peter to put the Stingers on the board.
Good game, man.
Happy birthday to Peter. It was recently his birthday. That's a birthday dinger right there. Jordan Rice will step in.
Huh? I said you're finally 26. Oh, yeah. Feels great.
That's inside.
Stingers finally get into Brad there. They're 2 runs, but still down 2, so they're going to need some more work to do.
The unlucky batters so far today has been Jordan Rice. He's lost a couple bats, and it's just so interesting looking at Keaton. He was farther back against Peter, and that was actually closer to the home run, and now he's shifted in a little bit on Jordan. So it's, you know, maybe he's got like one of those play sheets out there or
Yeah,
something?
I was going to say, I'd love to see Keaton's scouting report he has for every player and how he's supposed to position them, because you know he has to be thinking about that every time.
3-0 count now to Jordan Rice. There's a lot of empty field to work with here. Just high, and Jordan will walk in back-to-back at bats. And up steps Drew Tenzar, who's really given Brad McGinnis the majority of his pitches today. I don't know how many pitches he's at.
Brad's at 38 so far this game.
Which is not bad at all.
No, I think he was somewhere around 50 for game 1, so he's probably around 90, maybe 100 at most.
If we look at the all-time record for most pitches thrown, it's Alex Harden, who's currently in the camera switching booth. He threw 280 pitches in the span of 2 games. As that's fouled back, and Chase unfortunately can't make the play.
Yeah, I ducked it. That was bad on my end, you know. Got a little scared on that one. Unacceptable from the booth perspective.
Yeah. But that was a game as that's flipped up to Mark, and that's a great play for Mark for the out. And that'll be the 3rd out as we head to the bottom of the 2nd, but not after Peter McNeil hits a towering 2-run home run. And getting ready to start the bottom of the 2nd, Josh Campiero will step in, and I'm getting pings in my ear from Alex Harden that it was against the Pacific Pilots after he threw 280 pitches, and he wanted me to mention that he also hit a walk-off grand slam.
I had to throw that little tidbit in there. He said, you know, I didn't just throw almost 300 pitches in a single day. I also walked it off with a grand slam, so nice job, Alex.
That'll be 2-0 count to Josh Campiero. We'll see if the Pilots can continue to add on to their lead here. That's just low. And, you know, it's come back to haunt Jordan as that's a 4-pitch walk to Josh Campiero.
And another half a dozen while you at it.
Jordan, 4-pitch walk to start the bottom of the 2nd inning off.
Brad McGinnis will step in, and like I was saying, Jordan's got the stuff. He's got one of the most devastating pitches in the league in that knuckleball. But he has been prone to the walk, and that's why we haven't necessarily seen him vie for a Cy Young.
Yeah, the walk's been getting after him. He getting runners on base, and then sometimes leaves that knuckleball up there, and we saw Mark drive it, and just kind of the problem. He needs to hone it in a little more. And, yeah, I think he has the potential to be right up there with the best, though.
And like I was saying, the tough part about the knuckle is it's such a crazy looking pitch than the other ones. It doesn't elicit many swings, as that will be a walk for Brad McGinnis. So when the batters see that nut coming in, they don't usually swing.
Yeah, they kind of freeze up, and they're just like, all right, please don't hit the zone. And you just got to get in that mentality that, all right, he's going to throw me a knuckleball, got to sit on it and put a good swing on it. And yeah, you're going to swing and miss at it quite a bit, but.
2 balls there, and he's having a little bit of issue with finding the zone, and that's popped up. It might have enough. That went off Drew Tenzar's hand for the home run. He Canseco'd it.
Wow, I mean, I couldn't tell. I'm honestly pretty confused on what just happened there. It looked like the ball went in front of the fence and ended up over it somehow. So I wasn't sure if that was true, but I think we'll go credit it that way. So unfortunate situation. So here's another, I guess you could say, error.
Jordan Rice is beside himself. He does not look too happy after that. His team has let him down, to say the least. It was a tough play to make.
It was, but you know, that wasn't going to be a home run, and so that's got to hurt right there.
That's only happened one other time in league history. This is actually hilarious. It was Jeremy Langstead who hit it through Tenzar. Off the hands of Jeremy Langstead. As that's popped up, Jordan said, I'll do it myself. I'll get that out.
Yeah, at this point, you know, you love your teammates, but you don't trust them at this point.
And Drew Tenzar returns the favor after getting a home run, he decides to give another one to
Yeah, not what you want.
Keith McKay.
Finally getting some runs on the board if you're the Stingers, and then immediately going back and giving it up because of a defensive blunder.
Kind of wish that happened to me more often.
Yeah, you know, I almost had one of those earlier this year also, and it's just, oh, so close, but it's
No,
a
1-1.
gift.
It broke. 1-1 count as we get a new bat.
Josh is just so strong, he broke the bat.
Doesn't happen often. 1-1 count. Just low, 2-1. Swing in there, 2-2.
You tend to see with Josh, if he gets that any kind of slow pitch, he's really antsy about trying to swing and gets really out in front of it.
And that's a strike right there. Jordan Rice, back-to-back outs by himself. He says, I'll do it myself if you guys are just going to give the other team home runs.
Pretty sure he has all 5 outs himself today, 4 strikeouts and 1 put out on his own. So, yeah, literally doing it all himself this game.
That'll be a foul ball for Brad McGinnis. Spikes that one, 1-1. Freezes them right there, 1-2. Here, 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. If you're joining us on TikTok, head on to YouTube, link in bio, and if you're on YouTube, Fantasy Wiffle Ball. Lincoln Biles, that falls back, remains 1-2. And that's a nice looking pitch right there, but Brad does not bite. 2-2 count.
Yeah, I can tell you I would have swung at that.
Oh, and there's that knuckle again. Frees the batter, but unfortunately just misses. Go to full count as Jordan Rice will reload on balls.
1 pitch away from getting out of the inning, and it's the top of the third.
Just misses. Brad McGinnis will walk.
And after Brad started the game off with a single, he's proceeded to walk his next 3 at-bats.
Keaton McKay will look at ball 1, and we'll see what other kind of magic pixie dust he's got. So that goes right to Jordan Rice, throws to Cole for the out, and that'll end the inning, but not after one of the wildest home runs you'll see in the AWA this year. Pilots are up 7-2.
Jordan, I feel for you.
It was pretty crowded, and it wasn't like that too. And they're like, dude, I'm not gonna get a drink now. You'll see it in the replay. It was like about as close as it could
Ball
have
1
been.
to Cole there.
Ball 1. Oh, yeah.
Hit the fence and rolled over.
Pilots 3 outs away from securing the series and winning the first 2 games, and just a brilliant job by Brad today.
And that is in play, and you know, Cole's got a run. He was galloping. Don't know if that gave him extra speed or not, but he will be thrown out, unfortunately.
Flower pot Cole there. Looked like he might have
One
stepped
out
in one.
in the inning, and we talked to Drew. We didn't have a great angle at it, but apparently the ball bounced straight up off the yellow. Drew had a chance to rob it, and unfortunately knocked it over. So not as bad, but
Yeah, but still, not what you want to see. Wrong place, wrong time. You're hoping to make that play, obviously, and just didn't bounce your way, literally.
Peter McNeil steps in with 1 out here in the top of the third. Just high, and he's the reason why the Stingers have runs today. That 2-run shot in his last at-bat.
Yep, that swing got the Stingers on the board for the first time today. Looking to add some more here.
Unfortunately, does get a little bit sorted there. Was that 65?
Yeah.
I had no pitch.
65 on a half swing?
1-1.
That's gonna be huge. That's gonna be huge when we got that wrist squeeze every 7.
And if the Stingers can't manage to get 5 runs here in the top of the 3rd, the Pilots will secure the series heading into Game 3.
And that's what you wanted going into the day with Brad on the mound. First game.
And that ball is absolutely tatered! Wow. I just can't believe it. That ball was hit so high and far, and who else but Keaton McKay.
I mean, we need to check him for a wiffle ball magnet here one of these days. I mean, the ball just attracts right to him, it seems like.
We really do. I've never seen so many balls so hard to catch just stick to this man's hands.
Yeah, and the way he approaches the ball, you never know if he's going to have to rob it or it's impressive.
Jordan Rice will look at ball 1, and I'm sitting here realizing we've literally just been talking about Keaton McKay this whole time.
Yeah,
the home run and the...
Pretty much on the defensive end, it's been Keaton in the field for the Pilots and Jordan on the mound for the Stingers.
And that ball is fouled straight back, and the Stingers find themselves down to their final out here.
Not really, sometimes. Like farm.
And that's in play, runs it out for the out, and that will be a win for the Pacific Pilots. They take Game 2 as we head into Game 3. And who said the Pilots need DJ Oliver to win a series? This team is looking electric. As we're getting ready to head into Game 3. Recap of the games. The Pacific Pilots took Game 1, 1-0 in a pitching duel. The Pilots took Game 2 to take the series, 7-2. And here we are, we're getting ready to start. Mark Campanero, not usually a pitcher, but when he comes in, he's usually the Game 3 starter for the Pilots. And without DJ Oliver, he will get to start here in Game 3.
Yeah, you know, Mark, his big thing is controlling the zone, getting those strikes, and actually in his pitching earlier this year, he's got a 0.0 ERA in 3 innings. So, I mean, start of the season, he's been untouchable so far. So, we'll see if he can keep it going this series.
And the Pilots have already secured a tie, at least, for the best record in the AWA. But with a loss, they'll be tied with the Cyclones. With a win, they will stand atop the leaderboards. Currently at 7-1, they could get to 8-1.
Yeah,
This is a scary-looking team.
Yeah, that's only 1 loss this year so far, and they're looking just dominant as ever. I mean, if Mark can throw another gem like he did earlier this year, the one time he was needed, I mean, this is going to be a really tough team.
If you're joining us on TikTok, head on over to YouTube, link in the bio. And if you're on YouTube, click the link in the bio to do Fantasy Wiffle Ball. It's free to play, and you can win prizes every week as we're ready to do starting the first pitch of Game 3. Underway, nails Jordan Rice in the face. And that's the last thing Jordan wanted to get right there. And that's a hard hit ball to Keaton McKay for the out. I mean, I don't even know what to say anymore. Jordan is just throws his hat. It's like the 5th ball he's been robbed today.
I mean, that's just, at that point.
Oh, my goodness.
It just, I don't even know what to say, honestly. I don't even really know what to say. I mean, Jordan's just having a tough day. I'm feeling for the guy, and I mean, he's hitting the ball hard, he's pitching well, and just nothing's going his way.
Maybe a little bit of respect from Keaton out there to let Jordan get on base a couple times. My goodness.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, not going to lie, when I saw Keaton feeling that, I was like, oh, this is an out.
As Drew Tenzar looks at strike 1. And that's a hard hit ball. If that, he's out of here. Solo shot. Drew Tenzar gets on the home run leaderboard. First of the year, and the Stingers have their first lead of the series.
That's what you want for the Stingers. You know, hard play, top ball first, home run. First 2 batters piecing the ball up well, seeing it well, on the
that short porch definitely helped the lefty. That definitely would not have been out if it was a righty. As that's in play to Cole Blevins, swings at the first pitch. And Cole's got those nifty moves, but unfortunately couldn't evade Mark Campagnolo for the second out.
Oh wait, who wants the mic? Should I keep it?
Give it to whoever you want.
Who wants mic?
Don't give it to me.
Give it to Brad.
Brad.
1-0 is the score here. Peter McNeil steps in, had a 2-run shot in game 2, and then followed it up with a shot that was warning track power. Almost got out. Fouls that one back. 0-1.
Mark getting 2 outs here early.
And Mark definitely has been working on his pitches.
Yeah, I've noticed he's getting ahead early this season a lot, and it's been really helping him getting players to swing at the balls that are actual balls, and it's been working.
1-2 count, and Mark Campagnolo has been a great pitcher or hitter in the AWA for the longest period of time. Never really has figured out pitching, which is a surprise. As he soars Peter.
Keep up the narrative. I love that.
I mean, am I lying?
Use it as fuel. Strikeout. Boom. Boom. I'm not lying. I'm just speaking facts. No, he's really. He is speaking facts. He is speaking facts. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. In the past. Stop digging. No. I just gave one up. I gotta drop a Ratatouille quote. Why drop it? I will. That's it.
That's what I was saying on Mark, who hasn't been the greatest pitcher. You just assume anyone can just practice and become a great pitcher in wiffle ball, but you know, as the saying goes, a great wiffle ball pitcher can come from anywhere.
Yeah, that's so true, and we're seeing it this season from Mark, so love it.
Peter McNeil on the mound. Starts off with that nasty hook, goes right back to it 1-1.
Had the game 1 loss, 1-0 loss, didn't get much from his offense, so hoping he can hold it down again this game and secure a win.
And that is a tough play. That'll just be that'll be one bag on the overthrow. Yep. And unfortunately for the Stingers, that ball was barely foul, and in that position, you know, the chances of making that play are almost 0.
Yeah, I see Peter probably just out there trying to make a miracle play. Can't blame him for that. And on to the next one.
Keaton McKay will get to second on the overthrow, and that ball's going back, and that is in play. Cole Blevins had a shot. And luckily, Cole Blevins saves that, but Cole, normally a sure-handed first baseman, that ball was playable, and he just can't make the play. Mark will advance to second base, and the Stingers find themselves in a little bit of a pickle here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, ball's off the wall. Tough. It had Cole turning left, right, and ultimately couldn't make the play, and luckily that ball didn't go behind the backstop for an extra base.
Josh Campagnolo looks at ball 1, and the story of the day has been the Stingers' defense.
Yeah, they're not helping themselves out at all. And here we go again with runners on second and third.
And that's in play. Throws and gets the out at first. A great play there from Drew Tenzar, but the runner will score from third. And we have a tie game now, 1 apiece. Sacrifice. Look at ball 1 right there. 1-1 count to Brad McGinnis, the runner, 45 feet away. That's fouled back. 1-2.
Put this ball in play somehow and get that runner in. You know, that's what they're hoping for right now. Give them 2-1 lead, heading to the top of the second.
Peter, a fast worker, barely gives us time to speak. Full count now. Brad does well to fight it off, and we'll look at the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Sorry, the quote was, not everyone can pitch a wiffle ball, but a great wiffle ball pitcher can come from anywhere.
True.
That's the Ratatouille wiffle ball quote.
Ratatouille, man.
Just misses there, and Brad McGinnis will get first base. Runners on the corner for who else but the magic man, Keaton McKay. Just misses.
Ripped a single his first at bat, advanced the second on the throw, ended up being the first run scored from this game.
This game has turned into a Keaton McKay highlight reel. 1-1 count now. And that'll be a 1-2 count. Froze him there, strike 3, and that's a quick strikeout there from Peter McNeil, much needed. And up steps the player who's really started to get into his groove this game, Mark Campanero, the 2021 Silver Slugger.
Yeah, had the deep home run to left, been spraying balls to the right field. I thought that last at bat he had, I thought that was going out also, and he's starting to feel it here.
And I had Mark Campanero on my fantasy team this week. I, bottom low, I knew he couldn't be in a slump forever. Swings over the top of that one.
Gotta be feeling good about that pick.
Yeah, great pickup.
Helping you out with the pitching also this game a little bit.
Unfortunately started myself, so that didn't go well. 2-1. Nasty pitch right there. Can't put it any more perfect than the top of the zone. 2-2. Got him, strike 3, and Peter McNeil, a huge strikeout there of Mark Campanero. And we're headed to the 2nd inning tied, 1 apiece. If you like fantasy wiffle ball, head to playertrader.net/AWA. Link in our bio of all social media platforms to pick a free fantasy team based on a $200 budget. Full analytics, the whole shebang. Play now. This is the last game of week 3. Week 4 starts on Monday. And we're getting ready to start the top of the 2nd inning, 1-1. Anyone's game here. And Mark Campanero pitched great. He's had 4 scoreless innings to begin the 2023 campaign. Not something you can say very often for any pitcher in the AWA.
Yeah, that had that 0.0 ERA getting into this game, and gave it that first bomb in the first inning. But he's looking to get back on track here and really hold it down for his team and get this sweep. Like you said, head to, was it 8-1 on the year?
Yeah. Fouls it back 1-2. The Stingers sitting at 3-5 right now. If that is a hard hit ball foul, remains 1-2. If they were to lose, it'd be a 3-way tie for last with the Nighthawks, Enforcers, and Stingers, which they have not found themselves down there very often. And the Pilots would hop over the Cyclones and become 8-1, first team to 8 wins.
Yeah, but you have to think as a Stingers fan, same exact situation as last year. Maybe they just don't play too well during the regular season, figuring stuff out. They don't always have everyone here all the time, so.
And that is popped up and caught for the out. Sorry, the Wolf Pack would remain at the bottom at 2-7. And normally what we've seen in the AWA has been parity. Everyone in the league right around even. But this year we've seen some really good teams and some really bad ones.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can say for myself, on the Enforcers, we were in the World Series last year and started the season off 0-6, and it's just been a tough go so far. And yeah, it's anyone's kind of league this year, so it's almost like a 8-way game of rock, paper, scissors.
That ball is absolutely tanked. 2nd home run of the game for Drew Tenzar. And Drew said, you know what? I'll do it myself. This team needs the offense, and I'll come through.
starting to see Mark well. Second at bat, second home run of the game. Peter's a nice job.
Drew Tenzar quickly 2 home runs to put him in the top 10 in the AWA in home runs, and up steps Cole Blevins. As that's in play, and Cole has done great, and he's on. Cole has done great to just get it in play, and unfortunately a couple times he hasn't been able to.
Yeah, we saw him hustling it out there that time, and got on base and keep the order moving for your captain, Peter.
Peter McNeil steps in, fouls that off, and Mark's fault in the past has not been able to locate. He hasn't thrown too many walks. He has thrown a couple over the plate, and the Stingers, especially Drew Tenzar, have been able to capitalize.
Yeah, and like you said, finding the zone, that's one of Mark's big things, and if he's finding that zone, then he's working well. But yeah, you see him here starting to struggle a little bit. Had to give that meatball up to Drew for the second time, and struggling here against Peter.
2-1 count, 2-1 score.
Hey, anyone want to take my spot?
Second inning, 1 out. A lot of 2-1s here. Swinging there, 2-2. Jordan Rice talking to the booth, annoyed with how unlucky it's been for him.
Yeah, you got to think that luck will bounce your way one time, but it seems like over and over and over and over again tonight that he's just been on the wrong side of it.
And that is popped up out of play. Don't think Mark would have had a play regardless.
What happens if I catch that?
If it was a little closer than that, you know, who knows what would happen. Maybe Mark would tackle you or something. Oklahoma drill. It'll be full count. Remain.
I'll be going for it.
And that, once again, oh, that might roll. No. That ball almost rolled.
Ball grew a pair of legs and started walking.
And we will look at the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Battle right here between the two captains, Peter McNeil, Mark Campanero, both pitching in Game 3. And he will take ball 4. Runners at first and second. And up steps Jordan Rice, who at some point you got to think luck's going to go his way.
Yeah, probably the unluckiest guy on the planet so far today. I mean, what's the opposite of when you're lucky, go to the casino? Whatever that is, the opposite of that is, that's what.
And that is popped up and caught for the out, 2 outs. He's hitting the ball. He's seeing it well, just barely getting under that one.
Yeah, just hitting it right at guys. Not able to find any grass anywhere, unfortunately.
And that's a hard hit ball to Keaton McKay, and unfortunately will tag Peter McNeil and stop the rally. Peter acting like the ball disappeared, a little hidden ball trick, but unfortunately will end the Stingers rally as we head to the bottom of the second, 2-1. As Josh Campanero will look at strike 1. And that's a hard hit ball and caught for the out. What a play from Drew Tenzar. That ball was an inch above the ground. And he's able to make the play. That's called having the shift. And we're looking at the replay, definitely out. There was a whole inch between his hand and the ground. That'll be the first out of the inning.
Kind of knocked that ball up to him a little bit, helped him out a little bit right there.
And Pierre McNeil is finding the zone now, 0-1. 0-2. Peter McNeil looks angry.
He's working fast, like you said, one of the quickest workers in the league, and
just misses.
Getting ahead early and just working.
These batters know that when pitchers are up, 0-2. They're gonna waste some pitches. They're good enough to try to throw those pitches that look like strikes, but aren't, as they get right there. Strike 3 on that nasty riser right there. 2 outs. And up steps Keaton McKay, who ended the inning defensively against Peter McNeil with the tag. We'll see if Peter has anything to say about that.
Keaton's having himself a day, obviously. Everyone knows that, but I'd like to extend the lead and tie it here and continue to be the hero today.
Go, Keaton. That's what happens when you whack him in the first game.
Peter McNeil finding the PVC pipe consistently, just painting 0-1. And unfortunately, Chase, I have to let everyone know that Chase 0 for 2 today on catches.
Wore that one off the face right there.
And that's a hard hit ball to Drew. Knock it down, throw for the out. What a play from Drew Tenzar.
Man, that was close. He got it.
He was in the air as the ball was there. Drew Tenzar, 2 excellent plays as we look at the replay. What a play, and a little taste of his own medicine to Keaton McKay as we head to the top of the 3rd inning. Here we are getting ready to start the top of the 3rd inning. 2-1 remains the score, and the Stingers are back up. Flower Pot Cole will lead it off after singling in his last at bat. That slow roller past the pitcher, tough to handle. And we'll see if he can get on base for the Stingers. Mark Campanero has pitched very well so far. Only 2 earned runs so far in Game 3.
Yeah, he's been pitching very well, only giving up 3 hits on 2 runs. Being really efficient on the day and letting his defense do the work.
It'll be 2-0, and I've noticed with Mark, he's really kind of lowered his speed, which has helped with his accuracy. As that's a hard hit ball in the gap to Keaton McKay. He'll knock it down. And that would have been an out. Cole Blevins, not the fastest runner there, was looking at the fielder, but unfortunately Josh Campanero couldn't come up with it. And Cole Blevins thought he was out. He just assumed when he was hit at Keaton, he just assumed he was out. But he will be safe at first. And up steps team captain Peter McNeil. Sporting a cool new brace, I might add. Is that a new brace, Peter?
Yeah, I lost my other one in France. So
oh, well.
This is all I got now. Some Frenchman's very happy.
2-0.
Like escargot.
Does not go 3-0. And we'll see. And there's the courtesy 3-0 swing.
Yep, there we go. Love to see that. Love to see that. That ball is definitely going to hit him. He just got the bat in there and got it on the ball.
And it's tough because, 3-0, if you think the batter's going to swing, give you a courtesy swing, you don't want to leave a hanger because that's just.
Yeah, so it's about making it that pitch that looks like a strike, but just right off the zone.
And that is popped back. Mark Campanero makes a play to get Peter McNeil to pop out, and that's usually a tough play, hard to handle for most pitchers. But luckily he didn't step any balls there, didn't get tripped up.
Yeah, and Mark's a great athlete out there. I expect him to make that play.
And up steps Jordan Rice, who's been voted most unlucky player of this series. And that ball just underneath it.
And Cole's running to second base.
And Cole has no idea how many outs there are. And that'll be an unassisted double play. Cole Blevins, just a complete brain fart, and we're headed to the bottom of the 3rd. Stingers still lead 2-1.
Yeah. This is it, boys.
I'm up. I believe. I'm up, right, Chase? Yeah, you're up. Yeah.
2-1?
2-1. Top 3.
Bottom 3. And here steps Mark Campanero.
You get on and Josh will hit a walk.
Here in the bottom of the third, 2-1 Stingers. Peter McNeil's first pitch just low.
Mark with a great day on the mound. Only giving up 2 runs here through 6 innings this season. Hoping to help himself out here and be the insurance run to tie this game.
And that's in play, just out of the reach. And call on the play on the field is safe. We'll go to the booth. He might have just beat it by a step. And looking at the booth, that's close. We'll defer to the booth. What do they think? And the booth overturns the call. It is out. A great play from Jordan Rice. And that play was bang, bang. From up here, it was tough to play, but the booth overturns it. That'll be a 1-out. Great play from Jordan Rice. And that is a foul ball. Mark Campanero is yelling at the booth. That might be a league penalty. This might be the first league fine, yelling at the producer's booth.
If you ask me, it was safe. Who's in there? It's not like I gotta buy it.
And that's a hard hit ball, almost kills Peter McNeil. And that'll be a single for the offensive leader of the Pacific Pilots.
Yeah, I know.
Nice hit by Josh there to keep it going.
The one time they just had to overturn. Let's go, Brad. Come on, dude.
Does not go. Ball 1. Duno.
Hey, come on, Brad. Let's go, baby.
3-0 here.
Peter's starting to lose command a little bit.
That's a hard hit ball past Jordan Rice.
Smart, Josh. Be smart.
And Mark Dell and Josh are scoring?
No, I said be smart.
Oh. Thought I heard you were scoring when he was on second base.
I said be smart.
There'll be runners on first and second.
I'll second that. He did say be smart.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Just go.
First pitch swinging from Keaton McKay, and the go-ahead run is at first base.
Yep, and who else but Keaton?
Oh, boy.
Be up in this big spot for the Pilots and could send them home with 1 swing.
1-1 count. Swinging there. Throws him right there. Strike 3. Huge strikeout from Peter McNeil.
Giving up back-to-back hits. Big strikeout right there for Peter to get the second out of the inning and 1 out away from the series. Saving win. But not going to be easy with Mark.
And you got to think, if you're Peter McNeil, what kind of treatment are you going to give Mark here? You obviously don't want to lose the game. You do have a bag open.
I think like he's doing right now, he's just going to dance around the zone, try to pinpoint the edges.
And that ball is going back, and that is out of here. Walk-off, 3-run home run for Mark Campanero. And the Pilots sweep the Stingers. They improve to 8-1 for a league best, and the Stingers fall to 3-6.
Shot, finally get caught head. Way to cap off the day for Mark. Right third home run.
And you know, when it's not going your way, that's just kind of how it goes. Unfortunately, the Stingers have a lot of issues in the field, unlucky with hitting. And we've noticed this year, this has been so many sweeps early on in the season. I don't remember. It's usually, you know, one team takes 2.
Yeah, it's the teams are really rallying together. You're starting to see that when teams get down to 2, they're really starting to feel like they're kind of out of it, you know, and just ready to move on to the next series. So.
And with that, we say thank you for another week of Wiffle Ball. Week 3 in the books. We look for week 4 starting next Monday. See you there next week. Game 2 will be on the Thursday, a random Thursday. But other than that, thank you all for joining us, and good night.